Squarely at the intersection of players that are important to the Toronto Blue Jays and that have a wide variety of potential outcomes this season is Kazuma Okamoto. In the first at bat of Okamoto's second spring training game, he launched this deep home run off Mets starter Clay Holmes, immediately making a great impression on Toronto Blue Jays fans that may not necessarily have been familiar with the MPB star or his loaded resume, which includes 6 All-Star appearances, each of which were 30 home run seasons. He was one of the best players in Nippon Professional Baseball, which is Japan's top league, and he said that he always wanted to come play in MLB because he views it as the best league in the world. And this home run wasn't just impressive because it was hit 430 feet out to the deepest part of the park in dead center, or because it was off a good MLB starter in Clay Holmes. It was also the situation that it was in and the pitch it was hit off of. Clay Holmes threw a 1-2 count sweeper down and away from Okamoto, and he waited back, was patient, and tagged the pitch deep to hit it all the way up to center. So it showed a really good and measured approach. Okamoto's fallen behind into a pitcher's count, but he still manages to stay composed, stay behind the baseball, and put a tremendous swing on a pitch breaking away from him on the outer third of the plate. Impressive stuff. Now, of course, we always have to take spring training results with a healthy grain of salt, but this here from Clay Holmes is an out pitch. This is the pitch that he got the most strikeouts with to right-handed batters last year. He throws it in a 2-strike count, probably wants to throw it strike to ball, but instead it catches too much of the plate, and Okamoto takes advantage. Hi everyone, I'm Ian Finlayson, and this is the first ever episode of Blue Jays Breakdown. It is going to be a twice weekly series just delving into some of the trends and some of the goings on of the Blue Jays, just kind of analyzing stuff, breaking it down with a video component. It's going to be some numbers, to provide context and back stuff up, of course. Really excited just to kind of bring a bit of a new concept, at least for the Blue Jays space, to people interested. And then very excited for another season of Blue Jays baseball. Without any further preamble, let's dig into a very manly, a very serious look at Kazuma Okamoto. Here we have Tyler Rogers, of course, inducing a slow chopper down the third baseline that Okamoto charges and makes a strong and confident throw to first base on. Okamoto's defensive ability at third base has been something that's been questioned kind of across the board since he was posted and eventually signed by the Blue Jays and has come over from the MPB. And I feel like this might be partially because he split time between third base and first base, which often carries kind of a negative connotation that someone is not as adequate a defender at the hot corner. But in every respect, Okamoto has looked strong through spring. Here's another ground ball that he charges, makes a strong throw to first. He's looked comfortable and in control over there. Here shows his range, diving, making a on-the-money one-hop throw to Vladdy at first to get the out. Okamoto did win 2 of the NPB's equivalent of the Gold Glove Award, the Mitsui Golden Glove Award, and won both while primarily playing third base. Then on opening night Friday, Okamoto was tested again with this check swing tapper from Tyler Soderstrom that he similarly charges and again makes the play with a little bit of help from that signature splits stretch from Vladdy there. But so far, Okamoto has shown proof of concept that he's able to field the position at third base adequately, if not more, with some of these plays that are less than routine. Spring results are exactly that, spring results. They don't count towards anything of true significance. However, Okamoto looking like he can handle third base for the Blue Jays this season is something that matters. Now we're going to move on to another one of the biggest questions about his ability to transfer his skill set from the MPB to the MLB, and that is the ability to handle velocity. The reason being is that the average fastball in the MPB is about 3 miles per hour slower than the MLB, all the way down at 91.5 from last season's MLB average of roughly 94.5. So when you're facing that significant of a drop off in velocity consistently, it's understandable that your ability to deal with it on a consistent basis would be called into question. But so far in spring training, Okamoto's done well to dispel the notion that he's not able to handle higher end velocity, as we see here him on time for a 96 mile per hour Thomas White fastball near the top of the zone. Thomas White is the Marlins' #1 prospect, a 17th ranked prospect in the MLB pipeline top 100. And again, Okamoto just shows that he's able to be on time, take that fastball to the pull side for that RBI double down the left field line. And that's scalded at 105 miles per hour too. So just showing that he's able to get to that pitch is a good sign. He also hit a 99 mile per hour double off Will Vest that was not televised. So that's another hard throwing Tigers reliever. Here he's against Yankees Ryan Weathers, and again 95 right at the top of the zone, and he shows that he's able to handle that pitch and get to it. So impressive stuff. And then against Edward Bazardo in the World Baseball Classic, hard-throwing righty. We all recognize him as the pitcher that George Springer hit the dinger off. And again, he's able to catch up to that 95 mile per hour velocity in the zone. And now this next pitch coming up is not a high-velocity fastball, but I just wanted to throw this 107 mile per hour double off a breaking pitch down in the zone to center, just to showcase what Okamoto can do as he pounds this ball off the wall there and puts another impressive swing on the baseball in spring. So Okamoto has answered some of the questions seemingly about his defense and also about his ability to get to velocity there. And now I want to turn to one of the elements of his game that is a little bit more solidified and is something that the Blue Jays should be able to count on as he takes a couple of balls here. And that's his understanding and control of the strike zone. Okamoto struck out as often as he walked last season in the MPB. We see this pitch that he takes here and gets challenged, 0.2 of an inch off the strike zone there. So pretty tremendous eye to be able to take that pitch so confidently. And Okamoto demonstrated this consistently throughout spring training. Here we're highlighting a 3-walk game that he had against the Baltimore Orioles. But yeah, when you consider the fact, again, those identical 11.3% strikeout rate and walk rate last season, that is a sticky skill. A lot of the time, that knowledge of the strike zone is something that is going to transfer over regardless of the environment that you're playing in. So once again here, we're going to see Okamoto making some very close takes to the zone. Takes that pitch just off the plate there, demonstrating a fantastic eye, fantastic plate discipline, and overall just ability to work a discerning plate appearance. Again, takes a pitch just off the top of the zone there. So yeah, we can expect to see Kazuma Okamoto walking a lot this season. And he does fit the mold that the Blue Jays have looked for in a lot of their hitters in recent seasons. Guys who make a lot of contact with the ball, don't strike out a lot, put the ball in play. That was one of the core tenets of the Blue Jays' success last season. And also players that can work extended plate appearances and wear pitchers out. Again, takes another walk there. And that is something that I think we can count on seeing a lot from Kazuma Okamoto this season. And also something that I think gives him a pretty high floor, because if you can count on him wearing pitchers out, taking walks, having a high on-base percentage, that should at least give him a steady foundation to fall back on consistently night in, night out, even if the power isn't necessarily always there. It's just a solid foundation to work from. We're going to see another close take coming up from Okamoto here after this walk. And yeah, it's just pretty exceptional. His eye, as you'll see here, it's going to be ABS challenged again on this pitch from Ryan Weathers. A slider breaking in, a pretty tough take. We're about to see on the replay here just how close to the zone that this pitch was. You don't really see a lot of guys laying off pitches down and in, breaking towards them like that in that fashion. And yeah, 0.1 inches off the zone there, pretty much as close as it can possibly get. So just an immense testament to the eye of Kazuma Okamoto. And there we have it. In Kazuma Okamoto's first regular season Major League game with the Blue Jays, he featured heavily and looked every bit the part of a good Major League third baseman. He made some good defensive plays, including the one we highlighted earlier there. He reached base in 3 of his 4 plate appearances, a walk, and a couple singles driven into the outfield. He scored 2 runs, including the game winner there. So very, very important player today for the Toronto Blue Jays in their opening game. And based on, again, the profile, the plate discipline, the contact, the potential power upside, his ability to handle himself in the field at third base, he seems to be someone who will be an important player for the Blue Jays this season, and definitely someone to watch. So yeah, that's Kazuma Okamoto, a fun player, a very serious, manly player in his own words, and yeah, it just seems like a fun and pretty laid back and cool guy, just from what we've seen in the media. So should be a fun season watching him and this Blue Jays team going forward. This has been the first edition of Blue Jays Breakdowns. Really appreciate anyone watching and checking it out. Feel free to give me any feedback. This is a new endeavor, and I'm trying to grow and take it in the best direction possible. So as we embark on this 162 game marathon, let's hope that it's a fun time and we can all get into the baseball nerddom together. All right, take it easy, everyone.